going on, Matt? Are you, did you decide if you're playing Nico or not? Or Nico Mannion? You're like half tempting me to do so. I do think the minutes rise. I will say that. I do think the minutes are a bit more secure than what they were in the prep games. But Gallo being there is kind of irritating. But, dude, if you looked at what Mannion was doing in the time given, like, he was getting to the line. Like, he wasn't just shooting. Like, he was constantly getting to the rim. So, man, like, the upside's through the roof with him. And I don't know what the ownership's going to quite be on a guy like Nico Mannion now. He obviously has the name recognition. He is an NBA player. People know who he was. He was popular before he was in the NBA. Got a PrizePicks play. I mean, if there's one play on PrizePicks I like the over on Evan Fournier fantasy points. I think that is a pretty solid play. It's like 24.5. I think that's a shoo-in for over. Oh, I understand. Yeah, I got you. Awesome. What's going on, Warren? Attacking the paint, not sure yet. It's tough, man. Whoops. And if you guys are in the Patreon group, I did drop the my lineup for the showdown in the Czech Republic and Iran game. You know, the lineup kind of makes itself in there. But for you that don't have your ear to the ground as much as I do, I went ahead and put that in there for you guys. But if you guys have any questions, make sure to ask me. We can go ahead and create some lineups. You know, if you're playing on FanDuel, unfortunately, it's just this showdown slate. But, dude, it is the most obvious lineup construction, in my opinion. In my opinion, I think that some people are going to try to force Rudy Gobert in there, and that's really going to fuck up what they're doing. And then they're going to force in these USA guys. Like, the fact that Nando De Colo and Batum are priced down here is ridiculous. Like, priced below Levine, Booker, Green. Like, these guys are going to play like 10 more minutes than them. Ridiculous. Is it true consuming the marijuana helps build optimals? If so, I may just being tonight. I don't know. You let me know after tonight. After tonight, let me know how that goes. But, man, we got like over 1,050 people in there. Yeah, DeColo is still interesting in my opinion. Man, see, that is pretty interesting for that last spot. Because I think you do have to play Batum at 9K. So it comes down to that 10K spot. Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, in a vacuum, I kind of have to go with DeColo. You know, he's got the experience. If you go back into recent games, actually, let me bring it up. Nando De Colo. I'm like super sketched out about. I mean, I'm playing Yabusele regardless on DraftKings, but dude, it's annoying that in your lineup thing it says that he's out on DraftKings. I don't know about that one. He'll play mid-20s regardless. Yabusele, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think Yabusele probably plays like 26 minutes. Yeah, about mid-20s, about 26 minutes. Like in KD, Fournier, Lillard, DeColo, and Batum for FanDuel. I am as well. Yeah, playing Fournier over one of the USA main guys like Lillard and Durant is what's going to differentiate yourself, because I think the chalk is going to be Durant and Lillard up top. You know, we're probably going to see a lot of Rudy Gobert up there. I don't agree with his price on either site. You know, if you're playing the showdown, though, on DraftKings' sake, just because they fuck up the pricing so bad, I think rostering Gobert is fine, but everywhere else, I'm fading him. Main slate, fading him, and then over here on FanDuel, I don't see myself getting to him, like, at all. There's no way. But, and if you guys do want my full lineup, link is in the description if you guys want to join the Patreon. These are probably the two locks of the slate if you guys are just now doing research and stuff. Tomas Sadurinsky and Andrej Balvin. Yeah, two of the most mispriced guys. And most of the mispriced guys today are mispriced because they're too expensive. A couple of the guys are way too cheap, and Satoransky and Balvin are two of those guys. I'm interested to see what the ownership ends up being, because a lot of the big sites aren't creating content like Osimo. So that's going to drive the ownership down on a ton of these guys, and it's going to drive a ton of ownership up on guys like Team USA. They're just so mispriced outside of Lillard and Durant. Guys like Levine, Green, Holiday, Middleton, like these guys should be like 6K. You know, some of the USA guys are going to go off. They are implied for, like, I believe 95 points. And so even though some of these guys are only going to play like 20 minutes, you know, these are good players, so they could score a considerable amount of time, but it's really just a crapshoot on who's going to do it. I feel confident in Lillard and Durant playing the most minutes out of everybody on this team, and they're probably going to be the most active, especially from what we saw in the preparation games. When it comes to Lillard and Durant, Tatum can get it done as well, but I can't really see myself getting to that price tag at 9.7K for him. Dope, sure, I appreciate that, man. What about the Iran showdown? Yeah, I posted the Iran showdown in the Patreon if you want to check it out. It kind of builds itself. It's pretty easy over there, because they have Andrej Balvin at $1,000 on the showdown, so it makes it pretty easy to make it. And, you know, if there was more content out there, I think Andrej Balvin on that showdown would be like 90-something% owned. But today, he's with not much content out there, he's probably going to end up being like 60%. So there is edge to be had in these Olympic slates, I can assure you that. By the way, working sub to the Patreon and getting back on it. Let's go, Stoops. Let's get it, man. Appreciate the support. I feel very confident we're going to have a profitable Olympic series, and then that's going to move right into the Summer League, which is my favorite part of the year. Hopefully we don't have too many poachers in the Discord. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Actually, I have not even thought about that. Where are we going to watch this game? What is it on? It's not on ESPN, is it? And I got to catch that Sandhagen game as well. Olympic basketball. Let's see if I can find out where this game is going to be played at. I have no idea. I'm going to have to find some illegal stream. What website you've been using for research? I've been using proballers.com. Usually what I do is, like, if I want to search up a player, I'll just search up like Tomas Satoransky Pro Ballers. Actually, I'll show you an example right now. Pro Ballers. Okay. So if you guys want to do your own research or just look at some players, I would just do this, Satoransky Pro Ballers. But when it comes to like these other guys, you're going to have to type in their full name, just full disclosure on that. Click on it. And then go to international competitions, and it will show their history in these games and what they've done. Like, so in the Olympic qualifiers this year for the Czech Republic and Tomas Satoransky specifically, he's played 33 minutes per game, averaging 16 points, 5.5 rebounds, and 5.5 assists. Like, that's really good. And that's him against good competition. And that's what he's going to get kind of in this game. I mean, Iran, you know, they made it because they qualified during the 2019-2020 FIBA World Cup. Somehow they qualified. They're not a good team. But should be a good matchup for Tomas Satoransky. It's a 17.5 point spread. Hopefully this game can stay competitive, but yeah. NBC. Oh, okay. Have to catch the game on there then. See anything on Yabusele? DK has him out on mobile. Yeah, I don't understand what's going on with that at all. It makes no sense to me, because I know that he's playing. Or at least I have seen nothing to say that he's not playing. Because I have been looking far and wide for Yabusele information, because if he's not playing, that would be a pretty big boon to my my lineups, because he's pretty much an anchor to it at that price point. He's been starting next to Rudy Gobert and should play mid-20s minutes and has been averaging nearly a double-double in those minutes. And I think he gets a little bit more than usual. Do we know if Baines is starting? Yeah, Baines should be good to go. Ben should be good to go. He exited that game against Team USA a bit early after banging his knee. Only played 4 minutes, but it is said that he is good to go. Of course, that game starts at 7 a.m. Central Time, so we will know a bit before then if he's playing, if he's starting or not. So I will have some pivots in the Discord, and like I said, guys, I'm gonna be up all the way through the Team USA game just to make sure we get everything correct. And I'm gonna be watching the games as well. So if you guys aren't in the Discord, make sure to join. Link is in the description. We can sweat it out together. But yeah, the Yabusele thing is pretty annoying. Well, if Yabusele's not playing, I suppose, like, okay, if we go to France and USA, see what we could pivot off of him, because he's going to be in the power forward spot, which is a weak position. Oh, we would just pivot to Corneli, I suppose. Let me actually... let's look at it just in case this does happen. I don't expect it to happen, but hey, that's the wrong Yabusele. Gershon is the guy we're looking for. So yeah, in the 3 preparation games, he's played 24, 20, 22, averaging 8.7 points, 7.3 rebounds. So that's all good and well. So we'll go and look at their most recent game. Let's see if Corneli's been getting minutes. He hasn't. So, yeah, I mean, if Gershon is actually out, that would be pretty problematic. I don't think that's the case. But assuming that you're playing a Team USA guy, you would just probably make some pivots off of a guy like Durant and, hope for the best. But pretty problematic. Yeah, I agree. I think he's fine. Yeah, there's just this glitch with Gershon Yabusele. If you have him in your lineup and then you go to look at your lineups on mobile, it says that he's out. I don't understand that. I assume that he might have been out like the last time he was on DraftKings, and it's just bugged like that, because I don't think that's my only explanation for it. I have a friend who somehow they win. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. They've played like absolute dog shit, Team USA, like super bad. And this France team's pretty solid. It was showing up like that for me earlier, and I know other people were talking about it too. So if it's not there for me anymore, I'm really not concerned about it then. And I've looked on Twitter plenty of times, and still nothing on it. Yeah, it doesn't say out for me. Yo, if you guys are in here, make sure that you are subscribed. I'm going to be doing this all through the Olympics, Summer League, preseason NFL, preseason NBA. Zach LaVine season. I mean, dude, realistically, any of these Team USA guys could absolutely go off, but it's just tough deciding who they are. I mean, this is literally an all-star roster. Look at this: Durant, Lillard, Tatum, Booker, LaVine, Green, Holiday, Middleton, Grant, Bam. Like, all these guys are going to get pretty substantial minutes. The only guys, and you go back to the recent Olympics, Durant only averaged 28 minutes per game. Like, these other, and you have to remember though also that these are 40-minute games rather than, these are 4 10-minute games rather than 12-minute quarters in the NBA. So it is a bit shorter. So 28 minutes is realistically like 31 minutes in a regular game. But still, that is pretty on the low side. When you can get a guy like Satoransky at 6.9K, he's going to play 33, 34 minutes, assuming this game stays somewhat competitive, I guess. When Summer League start, I believe it is the 14th, August 14th. Actually, there's a NFL preseason. I think NFL preseason actually starts before that. So, I mean, I'm going to be covering both those. I think there's just so much edge in both those. Yeah, I'm not even seeing Gershon out on my mobile anymore when Summer League's. Oh, yeah, I just went on that. Gallinari or Ingles on DK. I'm going to go with Gallinari. Gallinari has led this team multiple years in a row, or multiple Olympics in a row in scoring, and I don't see that slowing down. This team is now without Marco Bellinelli. It's replaced with a bunch of younger guys. So, Gallinari's fresh. He didn't play in the preparation games. So this is going to be his first game with them in a couple of years since the World Cup. So I think he's going to be out there. He's going to be chucking. Clearly their best player. He's like 32, so he's clearly not in his prime anymore. But I think the usage is just too high for me to fade him or to pick Ingles over him. I think Ingles is a good play in his own right. But he is pretty reliant on his peripherals. He's not going to be scoring all that much. That's all in the hands of Patty Mills. I have not even seen Fournier's post stuff. Hoping Vesely's low owned. I do like Vesely. I know a couple of you guys were talking about Vesely. Vesely is a good play in a vacuum. I just thought he was a bit too expensive. He's like 6,500. Now, if I'm playing the showdown for this, I'd be more than fine with playing Vesely because of how the scoring or how the pricing is over there. Czech blows out Iran. How much does Sato Balvin play? Yeah, so if you really see, this is where I question. I don't know how high owned Satoransky and Balvin are going to be because there's not that much information or content out there for this. But so I think they're going to be a bit lower owned than they would be if there was a ton of content out there. So instead of like 80% owned, these guys, they're probably going to be like 50-60% owned, which I think there's edge in that. But if you do think this game blows out to a point where they're not playing in the fourth quarter, I mean that there's some point to fading them because of that in GPPs. Now, you know me, I don't like fading players in fear of foul trouble or blowouts because that's only going to come to your own detriment. But in GPPs, I mean, I guess it's worth a shot because of their ownership, but I don't think they're going to be as high owned. Will our Patreon change? No. Patreon is locked in. Gallo obviously affects minutes and usage, but if you had to choose Simone or Polonaro, probably Polonaro. Gallo over Ingles if you have Mills and Baines already in GPP. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. If you already have Mills and Baines, which I have in pretty much all of my lineups, yeah, I would go with Gallo. I would go with Gallo anyways, but yeah. Yeah, that's another good point by Matt, too. If they're really blowing them out that bad, Satoransky and Balvin are going to have something to do with it. Unless, like, there's another outlier game, like when they face Canada, where Blake Shipp just shoots lights out, which is a very, very rare occurrence. It's harder to blow out teams out when they lose a lot of minutes when it's 40, not 48. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. And even in these blowout games, they still play decent minutes. Like, they're still going to play like mid-20s minutes, which should be enough, considering how good they are on a per-minute basis, especially when it comes to Satoransky. I was trying to find the fourth best player that I liked on the Czech Republic team. It was tough to really trust any of these guys. Because to me, it's clearly Satoransky, Vesely, and Balvin, and then after that, it's kind of tough. Bohasic, I suppose, or Auda, or Blake Shipp, even though Blake Shipp is strictly like a three-point shooter, and if his shot's not falling, very bad. Sato or Mills in GPP. Like, you have the money. I mean, I'm playing both for sure. I'm definitely playing both for sure, but man, that's tough. I probably still like Sato more than Mills. I don't know. Fuck. Sato's a lot better in the peripherals. Probably Sato, but it's tough. Yeah, probably Bohasic. Man, I feel like I've been waiting all damn day for this shit. Is your Patreon open for new members? Yeah, man. It's in the link. It should be in the link below. If it's not, let me know. It's patreon.com/TaylorStuber. You can still join right now. All the lineups are up there, the cheat sheets. Gotta keep doing these, so appreciate you guys being here. Iran is tall. Vesely and Balvin gonna have to play minutes. Yeah, I wrote that down on my notes. That was the first thing I was looking at. I was like, Hamed Haddadi is by far their best, Iran's best player, and Balvin's gonna be needed. And Vesely's another. I think both these guys are 7'2", so they're gonna need the size definitely against Hamed Haddadi. They should handle this game pretty easily, but yeah, I mean Balvin should play pretty decent minutes tonight, like mid-20s, 26, 27, 28 minutes possibly, depending how competitive this game ends up being. Want that Yabu news? I mean, I haven't heard anything about him, so I don't think there's anything to really wait for. I think he's good to go. I mean, I'll be up before, so when we get lineups and stuff, assuming that I can even find the lineups, I'll let you guys know. But you know, you think you would hear something about it by now. But if you don't want to play him, I mean, don't play him. I think you can get away with it, but kind of, you know, power forward's really weak. I guess you could play like Precious, Achua. I think he's decent. You know, Precious like never shot threes with Miami, but then he kind of just shoots. He unloads threes in limited time when he's playing for Nigeria. Yeah, I don't think there's any news. Yeah, Notorious, that's who it is. It's him. And you know, I was about to attempt to fucking say his name. I know there's no way I could absolutely you can get that right. But yeah, he's a good play, I think. You know, he was playing the most minutes on that Iran team in the preparation games. You go back to previous World Cups, like he was playing pretty decent minutes. Like there's no way he should be 3.2K. Now, my only concern with him is that, you know, they are projected for, like, not shit in points. And he kind of gets his points by scoring and assisting. And if they're not scoring that much, he's going to need a ton of minutes to do so, which he'll probably get the minutes. But, yeah. What's going on, Randy? Yeah, it gets my cheat sheet and my full FanDuel lineups and my DraftKings cores with 1 or 2 fillers. You just need to fill in like the last 1 or 2 spots, and I will give you, and I comment below them suggestions for those spots. So yeah, I think it's a pretty solid deal, and that's for all these Olympic games and then eventually Summer League and preseason. Yakchalo Decordi. Yakchalo Decordi? Yeah, I don't know, man. Maybe. Have Google pronounce it. I can't copy it. No, I'm not typing that shit out. Oh, shit. Let's see if this actually works. Oh, I'm gonna have to fucking type this out. Maybe?
Google.
Yeah. Yeah, this shit ain't working. There's no way that's gonna work. We have 32 minutes to lock, guys. So if you have any questions, make sure to let me know now. The real situation I really came down to is I was considering fading Kevin Durant. And I know that sounds crazy, but it was to get guys like Gallinari. Like, there really is a solid possibility that Gallinari matches Kevin Durant today at like a couple $1,000s cheaper. Now, I'm probably not going to go there, but at least not in my main lineup. But it is a possibility. Because if you want to fade Yabusele, which I wouldn't necessarily advise to do so, you could get off of him and upgrade him. Upgrade that forward spot to maybe someone like Precious Achua, which even then, I don't even know if that's necessarily an upgrade. I do think Achua is probably safer, but KD's a lot safer than Gallinari in his own right. Balvin Baines ties up utility. There are some higher price centers who could be lower owned. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and that's why I thought Baines was going to end up being super low owned. A lot lower owned than he should be. Because everyone's going to play Balvin. And so that locks up the center spot. And not everybody's going to play two centers. So guys like Hamed Haddadi and Mo Wagner in GPPs are super interesting. Like, they can score crazy amounts of points. Upgrade Apollo. I mean, dude, if I could just do that and not get copyrighted, that would be so sick. Actually, I don't even know what it does to my channel. Upgrade Apollo if you fade KD. You could. I don't want to fade KD. Another reason is, like, I'm going to be different compared to everybody else just because there's limited content out there that I don't want to lose because I faded KD. I'd rather lose on my calls than lose fading like the top raw projected player on the slate. Especially since I have more than enough money to be able to afford him. But if you guys are playing over on PrizePicks, I love the over on 24.5 for Evan Fournier. I don't understand this projection at all. And you know, Lillard opened at 33 points and ended up dropping to 29, which is pretty wild. I actually don't mind the under on Bam too. People think that he's just going to be the only center out there. Draymond is going to play a ton of at the 5. Jeremy Grant is going to play some minutes at the 5. JaVale McGee could play some minutes at the 5 if he gets in the game. And I would love Matisse Thybulle under 23 fantasy points, but unfortunately this is FanDuel scoring, and while he doesn't really do anything, he does get steals and blocks, and he did that a ton in the preparation games, and it's probably going to continue to happen. He's probably going to rack up 3, 4, 5 steals and get there just based off that. Best overall at 8,200, Gallo. Gallo's 82, right? Let me check. Yeah, Gallo by far at 8,200, Gallo. All right, guys. If you guys don't have any more questions, I'm probably going to bounce out. I'll give you guys a couple seconds if you have any last second ones to throw in. If you guys are playing the showdowns for tomorrow night or tomorrow morning, I guess, Jesus, with France and USA, I have my video up for that for creating a lineup. 4.8K left at forward on DK. Yeah, man, it's gross down here. Unfortunately, you're 200 off of getting to Batum, who I would prefer greatly to everybody else. Yeah. I wouldn't mind Melly if I knew he was starting, but we don't know if he's going to start with Gallinari here. I suppose it would be me too if I'm just being safe. He's probably going to play decent minutes, but his projections are not the best, or like his fantasy production is not the best. And then Nawara at 3,600 I think is pretty solid. Like, honestly, Yabusele is the best play under 4.6 if you don't already have him, or 4.8K at forward. Like, I would play Yabusele over all these guys under 4.8K. Yeah, I appreciate that, Roy. See you later, man. Mato low too thin? No, I think he's fine. I think he has in GPPs. I think he does have considerable upside. Kind of all over the place, but I do think he has upside. Last one, 6,300 overall. You're a couple hundred off of Vaselli, which I would like. It's probably low for me. Mato low for me. Let me actually look up Mato on Pro Ballers. Let me go over it a bit together. So if we look at the qualifying games, so qualifying games means they needed to win these games to even make it here. Played 17, 24, 33, 30. So like I said, he is kind of all over the place, but once he started getting the minutes, he was really there, getting there. So yeah, 61 or at your price point, Batman, I like Mato low. All right, guys, I'm gonna head out. I'm probably gonna grab something to eat before I watch these games. I'm gonna be in the Discord. If you guys want my full lineups, the Patreon is linked below. Neto DeCola viable in the showdown? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he's a lock for me, personally. Absolutely a lock for me. But I'm gonna be playing these showdowns as well. They're already posted in the Patreon. At least the first and the one tomorrow is. I'm still working on the second and third games, but they will be in there. Links in the description. My GPP line is low, yeah, KD, yeah, Balvin, Sato, Gallo, Haddadi. Yeah, I like it. I'm curious to see what Haddadi ends up being because, dude, his upside is fucking crazy. And, dude, so is Mo Wagner's, and nobody is talking about him. His upside is wild. Yeah, if you've ever played Summer League, or, yeah, Summer League specifically with Mo Wagner, dude, just give him a couple minutes and he will go off. All right, guys, I'm actually going to bounce for the next comments to start coming up.